A single mother was flying for the first time with her baby, but little did she know, her child would unexpectedly gain a billionaire as a father. Zeno took the baby to the restroom, and the plane suddenly jolted. Just as she was about to fall, Fatif caught her in time. Once the plane stabilized, Zeno immediately turned her back on him, accusing him of taking advantage of her. When she tried to return to the economy class, she realized the passengers there didn't welcome the baby in her arms. But Fatif, being broad-minded, said he actually liked children, so Zeno had no choice but to sit next to him. The dull hours on the plane made it easy for anyone to fall asleep, and Fatif noticed that Zeno was fast asleep. He gently took the baby from her and carefully looked after it, even asking the flight attendant to prepare some milk for the baby. When Zeno woke up, Fatif introduced himself and they started chatting. When he learned that she was a single mother, he came up with a bold idea. After the flight, Fatif finally made his request. His parents were forcing him to marry someone he didn't like, and he hoped Zeno could pretend to be his wife for 6 months, to delay the wedding. Zeno, who was struggling with how to explain the child to her parents, hesitated until that single daddy made him feel like he had already won the lottery. So Fatif naturally brought up his son and walked off, and Zeno silently followed behind. Soon, Fatif led her to his grand estate. When she saw the massive mansion, Zeno was completely stunned. Once inside, she was further amazed by the lavish interior, as his parents had prepared an elaborate welcome ceremony for his return, and his fiancée was also there, elegantly dressed to greet him. Just as they were discussing the wedding date, Zeno barged in, holding the baby, interrupting their conversation. She paid no attention to the confused expressions of everyone in the room, and proceeded to demonstrate how to change the baby's diaper, playing the baby's favorite cartoon first, then asking the rich dad to hold her phone, before handing the used diaper to the wealthy mom, while murmuring about how cute her son was. She acted like she was at her own home, completely carefree. She then took the diaper from the wealthy mom, and asked Fatif where the bathroom was. Fatif, in resignation, pointed to it. That's when the wealthy mom finally realized, and asked, "Who is this woman?" It seemed the child had already recognized Fatif as the father, and the wealthy mom fainted upon hearing it. When she woke up, she was even more furious, demanding to know how her son could do such a thing. Fatif's father calmly replied, "It's already happened. That woman is now our daughter-in-law." No matter how much his mother disliked her, he declared that she would never be accepted. Zeno, still marveling at how their bathroom sinks were made of gold, overheard Fatif's father calling his son his grandson, and was left speechless. She then questioned Fatif, saying she only agreed to pretend to be his wife at the airport, but never that the child would be his too. She asked, "When I leave, will your family let my child go?" Zeno wanted to explain everything to her family. Fatif begged her to give him a little more time. Just then, his sister came to call him for dinner. When she saw the two of them coming out of the bathroom together, her mind immediately started imagining things. She couldn't believe how desperate they were. At dinner, the most powerful figure in the family, the grandmother, finally made her entrance. Everyone quickly stood up. The grandmother stared directly at Zeno, who was still sitting. Zeno realized the situation and hurriedly stood up. To break the awkward silence, Fatif's sister asked how they met, but the two gave completely different answers. Zeno quickly changed her story to smooth things over. The more she talked, the more into it she got, and she ended up creating an entire fictional tale. Fatif gently kicked her to stop her from continuing, but no matter how much she explained, the family still found it hard to accept her. She could only quietly drink her soup. Unexpectedly, the entire family started staring at her again, until the grandmother said, "Let's eat." Only then did everyone start eating. However, Fatif was the only one who noticed that Zeno had already snuck a few bites of bread. He thought to himself, "This girl is really interesting." That night, Zeno noticed her son seemed to have a fever. Fatif immediately asked the servants to prepare the car to take him to the hospital. The commotion attracted the grandmother's attention, though the grandmother claimed she didn't like Zeno. The moment she saw her great-grandson was sick, she was more worried than anyone else. She even scolded Zeno for not knowing how to take care of a child. She took off the baby's clothes, which were wrapped up like a marshmallow, saying it was too late to go to the hospital. She insisted on giving him physical cooling first, and carried the baby into the bathroom. Hearing the sound of running water, Zeno thought the grandmother was being superstitious, and accused her of endangering her child. After cooling the baby down, the grandmother told Fatif to call the family doctor immediately. The doctor examined the child, and it turned out he was fine. Zeno finally felt relieved, but Fatif was standing nearby, chuckling. He thought Zeno was overreacting. When she and the grandmother were fighting over the child, it seemed like they were about to tear each other's arms off. Even Zeno couldn't help but laugh. Fatif shared his life story with Zeno. He said he was like a toy, with every step of his life planned out by his parents. He had no say in anything. Zeno commented that his fiancée was very beautiful, but Fatif said what he wanted wasn't beauty, but true love from the heart. Before long, Fatif's father accepted his adorable grandson, and the grandmother grew very fond of her great-grandson too, but his mother still stubbornly refused to accept Zeno. When the topic of the child's name came up, his sister mentioned that they hadn't had a chance to ask about it yesterday. Zeno woke up to find the child missing. She immediately kicked Fatif away.
Ne yapıyorsun ya?
Selim yok.
Selim kim?
It turned out Celine was the child's name.